Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Eau de Treasure. I'm Steven, and I am back in Japan. That's right, I'm back from my USA vacation. So you just saw a handful of videos that I recorded when I was in USA. I uploaded them to my YouTube channel, and they're done. Now I'm back in Japan. This video you're watching now, I just recorded a few days ago. I actually recorded a whole bunch of content before I went to USA, so I will continue now uploading those videos as we go on in the next couple months. I brought a lot of fragrances back with me back to Japan, so I have plenty of content for the rest of this year, 2024. Versace Dreamer. This one has been talked about a lot on YouTube. Actually, there's not that many YouTubers that talk about vintage fragrances. There's a handful, and I like watching their videos, and most of them have mentioned Versace the Dreamer. But this is a weird fragrance, and I'll explain why in a little bit in this video. On Fragrantica, a lot of people gave thumbs up to lemale as something that Versace the Dreamer smells like or reminds them of. And I happen to have a vintage bottle of lemale. Of course I do. This is one of my favorite fragrances of all time. So in this video, I'm going to try out Versace the Dreamer, tell you what I think about this one, and compare it to a vintage bottle of Jean Paul Gaultier lemale, and see if there are any similarities between the two. So one of the reasons why this is a weird fragrance is there are two versions of Versace the Dreamer. There's the original version and the modern version, and on Fragrantica, they have a different listing for each one. One is called Versace the Dreamer Original, and then the other one is just called Versace the Dreamer. You can see the batch code on the box right here, 9032A or 9032A. I looked it up on Czech Cosmetic and it says February of 2019. I think this is from 2019. Originally, I wasn't sure, so I had to do more research on this one. First of all, the box is clean, it's white, it doesn't look like it's been sitting around for decades, so that's one reason why I think this is a modern version of it. But then I took a look at the Czech Fresh website, and I typed this in, and it says that the batch codes change every 10 years. Is this a 2019? Is it a 2009? Is it a 1999? I don't know. My guess is that it's a 2019. Let's take a look at the bottle. Now it's a tester. You can't really tell that it's a tester just from looking at the bottle, although it does have this sticker here because it's a built-in sprayer. It says press. And the sticker on the bottom, you can see it's 100 ml Versace the Dreamer. It does say tester right there. And there's the batch code as mentioned. It's got the Versace emblem on it. It has this Medusa head, and it has this Versace design. The box is kind of cool, the tester box, because it has the same thing on the inside. It's like you can turn it inside out and make the box that has the same markings on it. I don't know why they did that. Unfortunately, the bottles look exactly the same from the original to the modern one. I'm trying to find an original where I can see the sticker on the bottom, because if the sticker on the bottom looks different on the original version than the modern one, then that would be a clear sign to know without the box if you have the original or the modern one. Also, the retail boxes do look different on the original. The original retail box has this night sky, this starry Milky Way kind of design on the box. And the modern box has just a blue design, and it has the Versace line. I don't know what you call that. The line design across the box. Let's do a spray on this hand. One good blast there, and one good blast there. Then I'll talk about these fragrances. There's so much to say, I just don't want to make this video go so long. Now, I said it's a weird fragrance. Is this an aromatic fougere? Is it a freshie? Is it a tobacco fragrance? Is it a barbershop fragrance? Like, what kind of fragrance is this? Well, the website lists this as an amber fougere, but when I smell it, I just don't think so. Assuming this is a modern bottle, I don't really get a strong tobacco note from this. And to be honest, these don't really smell that similar. But there's one thing that links them together, and that is a lavender note. So as you guys know, this one is kind of a sweet lavender. It's a sweet lavender that's supported with mint and vanilla and cinnamon. You guys know this was kind of like a revolution in men's fragrances because it just kind of started the trend of sweet men's fragrances. This was a barbershop type fragrance that went in the sweet direction as opposed to the earthy, more oak mossy and musky direction. This came out in 1995 from Francis Kirkjohn. And this one came out the next year, 1996. The perfumer is Jean-Pierre Bethuart. So I have a feeling that this is somewhat inspired by this, but this one leans more on the sweet side. This one, it's just that sweet lavender. There are some florals in it, but it does have tobacco, and people call it a tobacco fragrance, but I don't really get the tobacco. I just get that sweet lavender that's similar to this. But as I'm smelling it now more in this video, I am feeling the difference. I'm feeling how the lavender is supported by more earthy notes, and I do get somewhat of a slight tobacco or just an earthy note in the background of this. Of course, I'm just talking about the opening. Maybe I'll come back in a little bit and tell you how the dry downs compare on these two. And another strange thing about these two, the reason why they're listed twice on Fragrantica is that they have very different ingredients. Both versions have different notes inside. So I'll read you off the notes on the original Versace The Dreamer. The top notes are lavender, sage, and mandarin orange. The middle notes are tobacco, rose, carnation, and geranium. And the base notes are tonka bean, fir, vetiver, and cedar. And in the modern version, those notes are almost totally different. So the question to me is, which one am I smelling right now? I might as well tell you what the modern version notes are. So the top notes are juniper, tarragon, and artemisia. The middle notes are iris, lily, and flax. And the base notes are tobacco blossom and amber. Now, as I'm smelling this, I don't smell any iris. What I smell is lavender. But maybe the combination of iris, lily, and flax, all florals, and the tobacco blossom perhaps, maybe that's what gives it that lavender similarity to this one. A lot of the comments on the modern one say that it's really a white floral fragrance. I don't get a white floral fragrance from this. And just to make matters more confusing, all of the thumbs up reminds me of the original one and the modern one. People just say that the modern one smells like the original and vice versa. And both versions, it gets a lot of votes of similarity to Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. Now, I've smelled Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. That one is very different than this. It doesn't remind me of that. So that just adds to the confusion of this whole thing. Now, I've tried this one before. This is like the third bottle I've tried. I've had it before, and even then, I'm talking like 4, 5, 6 years ago, I didn't get it. I just don't get what is so good about this one. Jeremy Fragrance has talked about this, and he mentioned how this was the last fragrance that was produced and released when Gianni Versace was still alive. He was assassinated. He was killed in, was it 97? 96 or 97, right when this came out. And coincidentally, when I was in the USA, I took a trip to Miami Beach. I took a trip to Miami Beach with my girlfriend, and we went by the Versace mansion, the Versace estate, and took some pictures of the gate outside. I took some pictures of the mansion, and it's been converted to like this fancy restaurant now. So we couldn't just walk in and walk around and tour the place, so you had to make a reservation. But it was cool to see the Versace designs on the outside of the mansion. Of the two, of course, I like this one better overall. This one, the performance is so good on this one. I don't get, and I never got great performance from any bottles of this. This is much more of a subtle fragrance. This one, guys, as you know, can fill up a room. I like the sweeter direction that this one goes in with the lavender and the vanilla, cinnamon, mint. This one, it's interesting, but it just really doesn't do anything for me beyond that sweet lavender scent that's in there that's similar to this one. The earthier notes, the tobacco, I just don't get, I barely even notice it. It's just there. It keeps it from being an overly sweet fragrance. I appreciate this as a classic, but this is just not one that I'm going to wear every day. But I'm going to tell you what, guys, I'm really going to be on the lookout for a vintage bottle of this. On eBay, the vintage ones, they're already selling over $100, the original. They pop up every now and again here in Japan. I saw one sell for about $60. Someone paid for a 50 ml, and I saw the original box, so I knew it was the original one. Now I'm going to put my budget at around $50. If I see a nice clean one for $50 or under, I'm going to grab it, and maybe I'll make a video comparing this bottle and that one that I find and see if I can tell the difference between an original and a modern version of Versace the Dreamer. Hey guys, I'm back to talk about the dry down on this. I've spent some time letting this dry down, and now that I'm smelling it, maybe it's not in stage 3, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. It's been about 40 minutes, something like that. What can I say? It doesn't smell that much different. And I'm smelling this, I don't get a white floral scent from this. I still get that slight lavender, that slight sweetness from the lavender with some earthy notes to back it up, like the tobacco leaf or tobacco blossom. I don't smell iris. I know what iris smells like. If it's anything like the iris fragrances I have, Dior Homme, Givenchy Gentleman, this isn't like that. I have a lot of white floral stuff. I have Sculpture Homme, for example. Some people said it reminds them of Sculpture Homme. This does not remind me of Sculpture Homme. I don't get any citrus from this at all. I do get some freshness from this a little bit. This is a little bit like a fresh fragrance as well. And this one, of course, on the dry down, this one has gotten a little bit less of lavender, and this is a little bit more vanillic in my mind, the vintage version. Kind of this cinnamon vanilla mix that I love about this one. Now, I heard that it was discontinued. I don't know about that, but if you go to eBay, this one is in the low $20 range for the modern one. And I can't say I recommend it. As a blind buy, it's cheap enough to try it out. I just don't think it's really all that. It's not bad. It's just not really that special to me. But I will do this, guys. I promise you, I will try this more and see if my opinion doesn't change over time. I'll give it some more wearings. But that's all I have for this one, guys. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click that thumbs up button. Please like the video. If you want to see more on this channel, hit the subscribe button and click the bell, and you'll get a notification every time I make a new update. I usually talk about vintage, discontinued rare, interesting fragrances here on the channel. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of modern fragrances too, because that's just what I have been purchasing a lot recently, and why not make videos about that? And also, leave me a comment down below. There's so much to talk about with Versace the Dreamer and Lemale. What do you think of these fragrances, guys? Let me know in the comments. And that's it, guys. Have a great day out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.